Hey guys, welcome to the channel and another video. Today I'm going to be watching Gremlins by Dante based on Chris Columbus's screenplay. Dante is a director I'm somewhat familiar with since I watched The Burbs on the channel before and also Small Soldiers growing up. I wouldn't call him an amazing filmmaker based on the two films I watched, but he's a very good and competent storyteller. What I'm excited for though is Chris Columbus's screenplay. I've watched way too many films which Columbus either directed or wrote, including The Goonies on the channel, and movies like the Home Alone series or the Harry Potter films, Bicentennial Man, and Percy Jackson on my own time. About Gremlins, I know it's a black comedy or a horror comedy involving creatures called gremlins that try to take over the world or the city or something. I don't believe I know any of the actors that are starring in the film, but I do know that nowadays the movie is regarded pretty highly despite getting mediocre reviews at release. That's all I know though. But before we get into it, to help support the channel, I have a Patreon page for full-length reactions to over 50 movies, early access and weekly polls for what to watch next. You will need your own copy to watch along, of course. Please consider being a patron. Please subscribe to the channel. Do check out my other videos. Like if you liked this video, dislike it if you didn't. With all that being said, let's get started. Gremlins, Dante, Columbus. Let's go.
Rand Peltzer. That's me there on the corner.
Rand Peltzer.
I'm an inventor.
He's in Chinatown.
It all started here in Chinatown. What's down here?
This is it.
This is your grandfather's store?
Yeah.
I love how when films start with a narration to set up the story.
Are these things real?
I told you, everything's real.
So there's a lot of mythology involved in this film already, based on the mystic music.
I'm an inventor. I made this, the bathroom buddy. And you got yourself your shaving mirror. You got yourself your toothbrush. You got yourself a toothpick. You got toenail clippers. I can get them by the dozen if you like.
That background noise is distracting both the audience and him.
Where's that coming from?
But the store owner definitely knows what it is, because he's not surprised.
What is that?
Magua.
Agua.
What's he doing?
Singing.
I'll give you $100 for it.
No. Mogwai not for sale. With Mogwai comes much responsibility.
Oh.
I cannot sell him at any price.
So is Mogwai a gremlin? Because we didn't get to see it.
We need the money. Now come on, you want it or not?
I want it.
And I remember a line from the 80s. I don't know which film it relates to, but the line was, "Don't feed the trolls after midnight."
There's 3 rules you've got to follow.
Yeah, what kind of rules?
Keep him out of the light. He hates bright light. And keep him away from water. But the most important rule, never feed him after midnight.
It is from this film, I think. Never feed it after midnight. What an interesting intro to the film, because the tone already changed and now they're showing Christmas. I think this is a set. Based on the background, that's a painting. And Steven Spielberg presented the film. I had no idea.
Oh, no thanks, Mr. Futterman. I'm pretty much late for work as it is.
I think Billy might be the son of the inventor.
What did you do, good, Barney?
William Peltzer, Billy. Yep, it's the inventor's son. This is his love interest.
Well, just give us a little more time.
The bank and I have the same purpose in life, to make money, not to support a lot of deadbeats.
This is what's left of my imported Bavarian snowman. Your dog broke it this morning.
I want your dog.
What could you do?
I'll catch the beast myself. Then he'll get what he deserves. A slow, painful death.
What an unsympathetic woman. And I love how Dante's setting her up.
Oh, my heart!
What a faker.
The old bath never looked better. It's great.
Hey, guess who almost applied for unemployment today?
I give up.
You. I would have fired you in a second.
You're working here?
Yeah, weeknight.
That's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful life. Sorry. That's one of his father's inventions, which don't work right.
La 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 la.
At least they're a happy
I'm
family.
glad you're back.
Tra la 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 la.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
You're gonna like this.
It's a puppy, isn't it?
It's been almost 20 minutes and we're finally getting introduced to the creature.
Oh, honey, would you dim the lights, please?
Sure.
You're kidding. Where did you get this?
Oh, some little junk store in Chinatown.
Holy animatronics, Batman.
I just call him Gizmo. He seems to like it.
Gizmo? Is that implying that it's mechanical?
No, no.
What happened?
He hates bright lights.
All right.
Number 2, keep him away from water. Don't ever feed him after midnight.
Wow, okay. So Dad took the rules very seriously and is passing them on to the son. But for the film to work, some of those rules have to be broken. I am so impressed by the animatronics in 1984. Holy crap. We have separate controls for the ears, for the eyes, for the nose, the mouth area, the neck area, and then there are the hands. These are all controlled individually. It's almost like it's talking, because I heard the word light. It is talking. I'm just confused as how the family is just accepted it as something alive, but they have no idea what type of creature it is. Another invention, probably for making orange juice.
Billy! What happened?
That's Corey Feldman! He was a great actor back then, especially for his age.
See, it works.
And he's younger than he was in Stand By Me, I think.
This is my new pet. My dad gave it to me.
Cute. Can I hold him?
Sure. Great. Nothing, just...
Oh! They just broke a rule. Did it spawn another one of it? Holy crap. That's more than one. The effects here are amazing. It's replicating itself. It replicates itself when it's in contact with water.
Now can I have one?
Dad, the reason I came up here is because there's a problem with the Mogwai. Well, it multiplies with water. You know, it's funny, the new ones aren't like Gizmo. The one with the stripe seems to be the leader.
Oh, that particular line of dialogue showed us that all gremlins are not the same and they have different personalities and leaders and a social hierarchy, I think. The music just changed from being upbeat for the first 25 minutes to being very mysterious now. And Dante is just really focusing on these creatures and what they're doing to the dog, which I don't like at all.
So look, all I know is that I'm positive that I closed and locked the door.
Hey, is that a Mogwai?
Mogwai, yeah. I'm gonna have Mr. Hanson check it out.
And the second time they're showing the multiplication, they're just relying on reaction shots, which is great. So we get both perspectives.
You gotta watch out for the foreigners because they plant gremlins in their machinery. That's the same gremlins brought down our planes in the big one.
Big one.
That's right.
Huh. We know what 2 of the 3 rules do. If they're exposed to sunlight, they die. If they're exposed to water, they replicate. What happens if you feed them after midnight?
It's true. The suicide rate's always the highest around the holidays.
That's true.
Thanks for walking me home, Billy.
If you're not doing anything this Thursday night, maybe you'd like to go out on a date?
Night, Billy.
She does have a pretty smile. I have a bad feeling about this.
A big guy like you, come on. Good, good. Oh, that's good.
They're like huge sea pods.
Ooh, I wonder what that film was. They want food and it's near midnight. Oh, it isn't yet. And they're planning amongst themselves, so they're definitely intelligent to some extent.
Here we go. Maybe you guys will be quiet.
Okay, these close-up shots are very unsettling, and I don't know how to feel about that.
You want some chicken? No?
Giz is different to the rest of the gremlins.
That's it, good buddy. Call it a night.
The highlight of the film so far for me has to have been animatronic work and the actual props themselves. Very impressive for 1984. I can see how Steven Spielberg was kind of involved in the creative process. What the F? Eggs?
Well, they're the Mogwai.
Did you feed them after midnight?
Oh my goodness. It's a cocoon.
He's going through changes. Lots of changes. There's a change in form and in appearance.
I've been mistaken all this time. I thought those were gremlins, but no. The transformed versions are gremlins, and these are mogwais.
Sorry, miss. This is a little more advanced than I expected.
I recognize the prop on the right. It's from H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
I know it's Christmas Eve.
Wait, it's just gone! The time machine's gone!
You'd better keep him behind locked doors, because if I catch him, he's in for slow death.
I have no sympathy for this lady. Ugh. They're hatching. But I'm just curious as to what will come out of it. And I'm confused why Gizmo is not transforming as well. Oh, maybe because it didn't eat after midnight.
Where'd you go? Huh? Come on out, take a bite.
No, don't bite his hand off. Billy's on his way. Yeah, that's definitely not whatever Gizmo was. That's a gremlin.
Yeah.
It's eating glass. We still didn't get a good glimpse of the creature. I feel elements of Spielberg here, honestly. The gremlins are torturing Gizmo, and Mom's got a bad feeling. And the camera work here is excellent. None of the shots are in 90 degrees. Almost all of them are off center. And it reflects the state of the mind of the mother. This kind of reminds me of aliens and how they hatch. Excellent camera framing here by Dante. Wow. Oh, green blood. Their skin texture is not very convincing, but the actual movements and animations are beyond excellent. Get out of the house, Mom. Holy crap! Oh! Eyes! The sword comes into play! Their leader, the one with the stripe on its head.
Don't worry, Giz, we'll find him.
If it were me in this situation, I'd turn on as many lights as possible. Oh man, these little shits are violent. And it fell into the water. They are going to multiply.
And now you have got to warn people.
You think this kid is drunk, Brent?
He finally went to the police and they're not taking him seriously at all. Excellent stop motion work. Holy crap. This must have been difficult and time consuming to shoot. Oh my goodness. Not only do they have a social hierarchy, they're capable of working as a team. Did they just die?
It's the creatures. Not a creature. The creatures are making it look like an accident.
Blue snippers.
I'm laughing and horrified at the same time. This is a horror comedy. Holy shoot! These officers are so incompetent. Rather than helping the person, they have weapons. At least Corey Feldman is doing something. Oh. I don't think they have a purpose. They're scared of fire too. Smart.
You alright? Let's get out of here!
The entire town is in chaos.
The worst thing that ever happened to me was on Christmas. Me and Mom were decorating the tree. The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. The firemen came and broke through the chimney top. And me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird. And instead, they pulled out my father.
What?
He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney on Christmas Eve, his arms loaded with presents. He was gonna surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck. Died instantly.
Oh man, I feel so sorry for her. They're watching a cinema. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And they can relate to the dwarves, I'm betting. Candy. So they are creatures of absolute base instinct.
Cover your mouth. Don't breathe any gas.
Going to burn the whole theater down. Old school film is so flammable, it's insane. Damn.
Billy, in the department store.
He's the leader. If he gets to water, it'll start all over again. Try and find some kind of light switch.
The perfect time to kiss. While there's a crazy gremlin on the loose inside the same room as them. I haven't commented on the lighting work in the film. It's pretty decent. Now we also know that Stripe is capable of psychological warfare. If I were younger, I would never look at stuffed toys the same way again. But thank God I'm in my 30s. You have a Batman. Gizmo's going to try to help. Oh man, it's an actual chainsaw. I hope Gizmo doesn't sacrifice himself.
And that guy needs a certain kind of thing.
And it's calling Billy by his name. Gizmo's coming in like a hero, and I love the way it's shot from such a downward camera angle.
Gizmo.
It's melting. Gizmo actually came in and saved the day. Excellent prop. Oh man. The practical and special effects team of this film, they have to be recognized.
I'll bet he'd like some chicken soup.
It's that store owner.
You teach him to watch television. Aiyah.
I understand Billy getting attached to Gizmo, but can you imagine avoiding water for the rest of its life?
Your society has done with all of nature's gifts. You are not ready. He has something to say to you.
Bye, Billy.
Perhaps someday you may be ready. Until then, Mogwai will be waiting.
Bye-bye, Wolf Wolf.
Well, that's the story. So if your air conditioner goes on the fritz or your washing machine...
What a beautiful frame.
There just might be a gremlin in your house.
I enjoyed that film, guys. Okay, so I took some time to collect my thoughts. First off, that was a fun but odd film. I did enjoy it quite a bit. Chris Columbus's screenplay was excellent, and Dante's direction was pretty good too. I could see a lot of Spielberg's influence in the film too. The strengths of the film have to be the screenplay, the animatronics, the prop work, effects, and overall atmosphere. Whereas I'd consider the editing, cinematography, and the detail to direction a little weak. Let's start with the directing by Joe Dante and screenplay by Chris Columbus. They waste no time at all introducing us to Gizmo, a Magpie, who gets bought by the protagonist Billy's father for him as a Christmas present. He's repeatedly warned by the seller not to expose it into the light, to expose it to water, and not to feed it after midnight. As you might already guessed, all three of these rules were broken over the course of the film. The first rule to get broken was accidentally exposing Gizmo to water. Watch him multiply by spawning a lot more Magpies, including Stripe, who seemed to be the leader of them. They called him Stripe because of the stripe on his head. Gizmo, on the other hand, was shown to be innocent and almost bullied by the rest of the Magpie. When Billy brings one of them to his former science teacher, he's quickly killed by a transformed Magpie, now a gremlin. This happens because they were accidentally fed after midnight, which triggered their transformation from a Magpie to a gremlin. Gremlins are shown to be the exact opposite of Magpies. They seem to love mischief, mayhem, and violence. And they have a particular affinity for candy for some reason. They also seem to have a degree of intelligence and social hierarchy, which I found the most interesting and fascinating aspect of the creatures. I could see a whole lot of world building just based on that. As the gremlins start causing mayhem throughout the town, Billy tries to contact the police, but they don't believe him. The police in this film were pretty incompetent and they didn't even help a clearly dying man being attacked by gremlins, even though they were armed. All the gremlins, with the noticeable exception of Stripe, who goes to a candy store, get sucked into watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs at a local theater. That was hilarious and a great choice by the team. Anyways, Bill and Kate burn down the entire cinema, killing all but Stripe. After an intense confrontation at the store with Billy almost getting defeated and killed, Gizmo arrives and saves the day by exposing Stripe to bright lights, probably sunlight. The film was fun, but a few things did throw me off. The behavior of the police, the fact that no one was curious as to what these species actually were. They just accepted them at face value. I know there were urban legends inside the movie about gremlins, but it's still something to consider, I think. Moving on to the practical effects, visual effects, if there were any, animatronics, props, and sets. This is where the film was at its finest. For 1984, these effects were beyond excellent. Although the texture of the skin of the gremlins, it was rubber and silicone and not the most convincing, what really sold them was their natural movement, facial expressions, and sounds. It must have been a mixture of stop motion work, animatronics, and good old-fashioned puppeteering with excellent prop design. All these elements blended in together amazingly and so well that these little things genuinely terrified me in certain moments. Amazing work here overall. If I had to think of criticism of the film, it had to be the editing and the cinematography overall, and the fact that it kept switching from being a grounded in reality film to completely unrealistic and fantastical. A jump like that may work once or twice in the film, but I felt like it was maybe used a little too much. I always felt Dante's weaknesses included his editing process and his cinematographic choices, but that's just one person's opinion, and I might be wrong. Overall, I really enjoyed this film, but it isn't a film probably I'm going to watch every year or so. I do see why people love it even today, and how this film may have influenced an entire genre of films in the future. Anyways, thank you for watching. I have a Patreon page. Consider being a patron. Subscribe to the channel. Like if you liked this video. Dislike it if you didn't. I will see you in the next one. Bye.